Hey there, welcome to Concept Hunter. I'm back from making games at MIT, and Concept Hunter is in full swing. This is Friday, and we might actually switch every Friday to Saturday, but yeah, we'll see that next time. Anyways, it's time to talk about Caze, and this is a game where we've seen the kind of concept quite a lot of times, but it's, or at least lately, I've seen a lot of circular things, but here it's done in a little bit of way that is kind of divided into two sections and kind of has a little bit of a problem. So let's just get started by pressing the first one. And also the note how we had, okay, let's get started. That's a little thing that a lot of developers are doing right now, which is talking to the player like saying something to the player. It started out as a malevolent being, kind of challenging the player, and then it kind of turned into, instead of having a, supercomputer talking to you while you make tests, it became the developer just talking to the player. And that is a little bit cliche and a little bit annoying at times and a little bit unnecessary and just feels, let's just shut up, let's move forward. So I don't know if I love that as much, having that in every single game. So you are the red ball. You must not touch any of the dark blue maze. So if I touch the blue maze, nothing actually happens. And you press W to move into the inner plane. Into the next circle, really, the next lane, you could call it. And then you can use A and D in order to change the direction of the maze. So I'm in control of the direction of the maze, but it is constantly moving, and that's really the problem here. I need to make sure to move forward, and in the next stage we'll learn that I could also move backwards at the correct time. Getting out of pickle, whatever. So I could press S in order to move backwards as well. And those are really the actions here. Let's take the game and look at what do we have in terms of actions. We have the action of getting near to a movement of forward or backwards and then executing that movement. So if I'm here, I just want to okay, make sure that it's okay, and maybe, okay, we're good. I made the move, I'm good. That's the action. That's the big thing that happens. And that's really where the execution comes from. The other part of this game is waiting. And that's a really annoying part, where you just have to wait for there you go, I moved left and right, I made it, now I'm just waiting for it to go all the way left, where I'm not doing anything, and then it got it and I'm moving left, just waiting, I'm just waiting, and now that I got down, I actually need to go all the way, I need half a full circle, I need to go all the way to the other side, so I'm just waiting, and this is hands-free, I'm just waiting, and this is the annoying part, and this is the part where if you fail, you kind of don't want to continue. If I'll die right now, which just happened, because, a split second, because those are actually kind of, you have to make sure that you're paying attention at those parts, then there's a lot of time until I can actually continue moving forward. And that is really, really annoying. The fact that you also have levels that are kind of long, and there's no checkpoints in between them, meaning, for example, if I took this orb, then that orb is taken. Even if I die, I've already done that part. That would help a lot into alleviating some of that frustration. Clearly, then we have a level that's kind of exactly the same as the previous level, but you alleviate a lot of the frustration of me having to do this for a third time because I fucked up a little execution. And that execution is okay, that's part of the game, but what comes with it is immense amounts of frustration, and that's just not very fun to play through, and it takes such a long time. Now, I was actually fortunate to take a look at the description of this. Really? Take a look at the description of this and not just leave the game completely. And he actually added, when you press space, it actually just moves faster. So that's nice. I don't know if that's enough, but it definitely helps. Just be able to move that faster, to make those the second stage, the stage of just waiting for crap to move, making that better, making that faster. And that's already nice. Now, with that said, you can also notice that I can't entirely see the entirety of the level, because most of it is kind of up, and we have a lot of room at the bottom, which is kind of dead space. I want to just make sure that I'm not fucking this up. We've got a lot of dead space here at the bottom, and I feel most of it is due to just you wanting to put text in there, which is okay, but you could say what you're trying to say with less words, with less lines, and take everything a little bit, a nudge down, so that the player could actually see the entirety of the level. And that is kind of important in this game where you want to see the entirety of a level. Now, in terms of progression, there is actually a nice amount of progression here. There are a couple of different elements. Note that this is almost the entire... No, it's exactly the same level that we just played, but with an additional feature. Now we have this gray block that moves depending on the rotation. Moves all the way left or all the way right, depending on the rotation. So in this case, I can't move up right now. I'll die. And by the way, having everything kill you is kind of annoying. So I have to go over and then go back in order for that thing to leave my way. And that's pretty interesting. That brings you to needing to think quite a lot, and that's pretty cool. It means that the execution is much more interesting. But again, if you screw up once, the game becomes very frustrating to replay. And here, we have something that we don't have control over, which is the black objects. So you kind of have to understand what the black object is doing, and then hope that you're in time. This is basically on a timer. It means that once it leaves this area, this lane, then I have to just do everything faster. And now, at this part, after I've dealt with the new threat of the black thing, it's kind of exactly the same level. Exactly the same level that we just played. So with just adding, and now I screwed up, and now I just don't want to play anymore. I've reached a point where I really just don't want to play anymore, because it happened again, and I don't want to go through that entire thing. But what I was trying to say is that it is the same level all the time. You've added another element, which is fine, but it is the same level all the time, and that does create a little bit of a problem, where the replay value is frustrating, and then I'm just playing the same level over and over again. There is room for more interesting mechanics? Hell yeah. There's room for speeding it up a little bit? Hell yeah. There's room for putting checkpoints in and stuff like that? Definitely. With all those said, the core is actually interesting. There's a lot to do with this in terms of level design. And if you tweak a little bit and make sure the level design is interesting and make sure it's not as frustrating to replay, then you've got a really cool game on your hands. And this is called Caze by, again, C.J. Elliott. And that's it for Concept Hunter for today. Next episode will probably be on Friday, but might actually be on Saturday. We might be moving to Saturdays from Fridays, but we'll see. I'm not entirely sure. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.